Welcome, everybody, back to the show this evening. As you know, Trump's first foreign trip, official state visit, is to the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. Then he went to Qatar, and then he's going to the United Arab Emirates. And I just want to start this segment. Then we'll get into a bunch of updates on that, videos and context, corruption, etc. But I want to start. You may remember this clip that went viral of Karoline Leavitt doing her best impression of someone who is so outraged that anyone would suggest that Trump is corrupt just because of his corruption. You can't just call him corrupt because he's doing corrupt things. And he described widely as a meltdown over that. And this was right before the trip. I want to look at what has been suggested while the trip has been going on. Probably Leavitt's not going to like it. So let's look at this and then go from there. If you appreciate as we go through this segment, the show, please do click the subscribe button. As a reminder, we're doing a live show, lukebeaslyshow.com/live in Austin, Texas on July 5th.
And let me just get to the premise of your question that both of you have raised. I think it's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit. He left a life.
Stop! Care Bear! That you sound silly. Sorry, I'll start this over. That's just too would do anything for his own benefit. No, he want to do. You're right. She's right, guys. He want to do anything for his own benefit. You know where I'm going. Finish the sentence, Jaden. You know where I'm going. He would do everything for his own benefit. Okay.
And let me just get to the premise of your question that both of you have raised. I think it's frankly ridiculous that anyone in this room would even suggest that President Trump is doing anything for his own benefit. He left a life of luxury and a life of running a very successful real estate empire for public service, not just once, but twice. And again, the American public reelected him back to this White House because they trust he acts in the best interest of our country and putting the American public first. This is a president who has actually lost money for being president of the United States. I don't remember these same type of questions being asked of my predecessor about a career politician who was clearly profiting off of this office. That is not what President Trump does, and this White House holds ourselves to the highest of ethical standards.
I'm sorry, guys. I hate to do a little tangent so quickly, but our one wonderful and beloved and valuable producer Jaden, it seemed like you knew where it was going, and I said finish the sentence, and I got an
I thought you were going a much more inappropriate route.
Oh, okay. No. What? When have I ever done anything inappropriate? Yes, no, he wouldn't do anything. He would do everything. So, I love how she says he's lost money from being president.
Bullshit.
He's lost money in the sense that if you take out all the money he's gained, then he's lost. If you take out the billions of dollars that he's gained, then totally I'm with her. Okay, so she says, in that moment, got a lot of coverage. For anyone to suggest such a thing is outrageous. Well, don't tell Karoline that a lot of people are suggesting such a thing on this trip. She wasn't able to get ahead of that with her argument there. If you just look up about this trip and his business venture, you see headline. Trump's Middle East visit comes as family deepens its business. American business titans greet Trump in Saudi Arabia. Trump's Middle East trip marked by potential private business conflicts potential. Trump's Middle East trip isn't just about diplomacy. It's about the family business. Actually, that one we'll jump to. Right now, again, the headline is Trump's Middle East trip isn't just about diplomacy, it's about the family business. And as we go through this, listen, I'm going to say it as many times as is necessary with prescription drugs, with the border, with this. If he can get substantive wins through diplomacy, no matter how bad he is, I will credit him with that. I saw that a reason for this trip is enhancing economic cooperation and strengthening ties, and we're having Saudi Arabia purchase arms, and they're investing in the United States. Supposedly, we got to wait for these things to happen because lots of proclamations have fallen flat whenever Trump gets all the PR and then doesn't actually follow through on it. But supposedly, like Saudi Arabia is going to invest in the United States, and so maybe benefits would come. But how do we ignore from the same people who gave us Biden should be impeached because of Hunter Biden's business ventures. How do we ignore that no longer is it this strange, tenuous connection between maybe Hunter used his name to get cushy jobs and maybe Joe Biden would have, but we can't tell you which policy it was, would have changed his policy as vice president, even though he doesn't have that to change the Obama administration's policy, but he would have changed something even though he did the thing that the entire international community wanted him to do as it pertained to Ukraine, because that was the way he was going to protect Hunter Biden's job. That's supposed to be a scandal, but it's no longer that. It's Trump is directly benefiting as Trump is strengthening ties with these nations. But they don't care. While the true value of Saudi and other Gulf Arab states' investments in the U.S. economy remain hazy, their deals with Trump's family business and his foreign partners are far more tangible. The president will be visiting 3 countries that all have Trump-branded properties or ongoing real estate developments, hotels and golf resorts worth billions of dollars. He'll be meeting with foreign leaders who can make decisions that affect the Trump organization's projects and relationships with companies that are connected to Gulf Arab governments or their sovereign wealth funds, which could pose an enormous financial conflict of interest for Trump. I know these outlets want to be very particular, but I love the potential conflict of interest, which could pose an enormous financial conflict. It does pose. That's what a conflict of interest is. It's not that we know for sure that's going to change U.S. policy. We do know it does pose a conflict of interest. And it does make the James Comer-led, Trump-obsessed, leading to the 2019 call that Trump got impeached for, where he's pressuring Zelensky to find dirt on Biden regarding this same allegation of corruption that then someone who was feeding the FBI this information got indicted because he was lying. That looks like a eensy-weensy little cute fun time compared to what we're seeing here from Trump. So they're expanding the Trump organization, their role and business ventures in these 3 countries as Trump then, because the governments have a big role in that, is having these meetings and is strengthening ties. You can't ignore it. You just can't. And I am happy to see that the mainstream media is not ignoring it, to their credit. Sometimes they ignore things they shouldn't be ignoring. They're not. Let me show you some examples, and then we'll get on to clips of Trump having a good old time in the Middle East.
Things come to those who wait. Great things come to those who don't. The world's most talked about name is now in Dubai.
That is the message for anyone who is looking to buy or stay at the upcoming Trump International Hotel and Tower in Dubai. It's one of the new deals President Trump's family business has unveiled in the Middle East. And for President Trump himself, one of the many opportunities for financial gain while he is in office for his second term. Right now, the Trump Organization is doing business in all 3 countries that the president is visiting on this trip, including here in Saudi Arabia, where there is a Trump-branded tower on the way in Jeddah. Renderings show apartments with expansive balconies, pools, water views. There's also the Trump Organization's partnership with Live Golf, which is the Saudi-backed league that hosts some of its tournaments at Trump properties in the U.S. In Qatar, where the president is heading tomorrow, his son Eric recently unveiled a new beach villa and golf community. That project is backed by the nation's sovereign wealth fund, seemingly a break with a pledge by the...
Backed by the sovereign wealth fund. Now, I'm going to play more of this than the normal because I want to get to when she brings on Maggie Haberman. Their conversation cracks me up because it's so news anchors putting a normal facade. They're not trying to. I'm not even barely criticizing them. I'm just putting this normal facade on such abnormal behavior and sort of just report. Do you think that the optics of this could be troublesome? Do you think the Trump administration is concerned about how this looks? No.
Trump Organization to avoid new deals with foreign governments during the president's second term. His third stop on this trip is the United Arab Emirates, which is home to the major investments in one of the Trump family newest ventures, the Trump's crypto company, World Liberty Financial. This month, an Emirati investment firm announced it would use the company's digital currency for a $2 billion transaction. While the president is in office, his assets are in a trust, and his son, Eric Trump, says that the president is walled off from all of the company's deals. But as the president is here and touting the deals that he's been making for the United States on this trip, there is a backdrop here of new seaside villas and crypto coins that bear his name and his face. My source tonight is the New York Times White House correspondent Maggie Haberman. And Maggie, it's great to have you here because just when you look at the broader portfolio here, and you've been talking to your many sources, is there anyone who is around him that is concerned about the ethics or maybe just the optics of how this looks?
It's sweet, isn't it? Like, it harkens back to a different time. Do you think that that President Trump, the people around him are concerned with the optic? Do you think that imagine a serial killer, okay, is standing over a body that's dying, okay? Imagine that. Imagine it. Blood all over the place. It's disgusting. And he's standing over, and then the news report is, Mr. Serial Killer, do you think that Mr. Serial Killer's advisors are concerned with the optics of him not giving first aid to the person who's dying on the ground? Do you think that would trouble his critics? I don't think he cares one single bit, okay?
And how this plays out?
There is a general awareness that there could be a problem down the road with some of these business deals, or even not so far down the road. In terms of the general optics, anybody who has a problem with that is not somebody who is really currently serving in Donald Trump's administration. You are correct that he had said that he was divesting from his business the first time. Sorry, not divesting. That he was going to put his business in a blind trust and he was not going to be involved.
And they go on to talk about, we don't know for sure. Was he involved? He was. He lied. That's it. Done. Summarized. Then more on CNN. And we're going to get back to this crypto, because you kind of have the business ventures and then the crypto. You heard it referenced there. It's just so egregious. It's so egregious. Another thing, by the way, was normalizing relations with the Syrian leader after, of course, the Assad regime was toppled. And all of those are important elements of this too to be discussed, which is why we are. And but those are almost more normal political discussions. What is this diplomacy, the correct step for? But this just makes me lose hope that people have any moral consistency because of what we just went through. We can't forget, we just went through the Biden needs to be impeached because we kind of think that maybe something influenced something about something. Now this.
It is a region where the Trump family business ties have more than tripled since his first term. That's according to a new CNN report. In fact, Trump's family is doing billions in business in all three countries that he is visiting this week. But what if this were a Democrat? Well, let Don Jr. tell you from back in the day.
I wish my name was Hunter Biden. I could go abroad, make millions off of my father's presidency. I don't snort cocaine.
To be exactly what's happening right now, and no.
Yeah, that's exactly what is happening. What was that soundbite you played, Cole? Play it again. What'd he say?
I don't snort cocaine.
I don't know what cocaine is, but okay. Strange defensiveness there, Johnny J. And then the liberal pundit on The Five, filling in for Jessica Tarlov, had this to say.
The second thing is, we cannot forget that these countries have invested millions and millions of dollars in Trump family businesses. And if this were the Biden family, the Biden crime family you all talked about for 4 years, going to countries and getting millions and millions of dollars from the same people.
Billions. Billions.
Who are investing those millions to personally enrich Donald Trump, you would be furious.
Well,
so I think
because the Trump family has a business. The Biden family didn't have a business.
You can't compare the two.
You absolutely... No, you're right.
Can't.
Trump is worse.
Wait.
You're right.
I have to...
The
Bidens exploited public service for personal wealth.
That's what Donald Trump is doing
he's
today.
already a billionaire. There's none of these licensing deals have any bearing on him. And you want...
I keep hearing this. Who was it? Somebody said... Oh, it was Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley said, why would Trump do something to make himself money when he already has so much money? If that argument would make sense if we ignore all of history, always, where I know one thing about rich people. They try to get more rich. That's kind of like their thing. It's really weird. serial killers kill and rich people want to get more rich. I'm not saying they're the same. Sorry, that was a bad. I just referenced serial killers earlier. That was a bad connection. But it is fundamental. Luke eats cheeseburgers like rich people want to get more rich. Okay, that's a better analogy. It's always happened and it always will happen, frankly. All right, let's look at some of these videos because MAGA is hyped about these. Trump is bringing back America. He's the king. Look, MBS, who now I guess we're just besties with, is being honored or is honoring Trump. And look, he's driving a golf cart. And Trump looks so powerful. For our podcast listeners, I'm putting up on screen these videos. You had this account saying, simply unbelievable. A golf cart tour driven by the Crown Prince Salman himself. Respect off the charts. America is back. Because of the golf cart? I'm confused. But okay. And then in Qatar, Trump was saying,
we came from Saudi Arabia, where we have another great man over there that's a friend of yours. And you two guys get along so well and like each other. You sort of remind me a little bit of each other, if you want to know the truth. They're both tall, handsome guys that happen to be very smart. But he's also a very special guy, and it's good to see all the relationships forming in the Middle East, because the Middle East is really being talked about all over the world, and we're having a lot to do with it. We're helping a lot, but they're doing a tremendous job. So I
what a tremendous job with what? He just says that's the same thing he says about his son when his son comes up. So tall, so handsome, so smart. Xi Jinping, so handsome, so smart, doing a tremendous job. Mr. President, how is Melania? So beautiful, so smart, doing a tremendous job. It's just the same descriptions every time. You remind me of each other because you're handsome.
The world, and we're having a lot to do with it. We're helping a lot, but they're doing a tremendous job. So I just want to thank everybody very much for being here. I want to thank the media. The media has been very fair, actually, and it's a great honor to be with you. This is, you take a look at this room. This room is the real deal. That's called white marble. It's very hard to buy. Believe me, I know very well, because you try to buy it, you can't buy it. And you just take a look at what you have here. It's been incredible.
So there are significant hundreds of billions of dollars agreements being made. He signed that in Saudi Arabia, as I referenced before, investments in the United States, arms deals. But he can't really get himself to articulate that very well. So a lot of these meetings were just him talking about how beautiful his surroundings were, because he's like a little puppy, you know, but terrible at the same time, where he just kind of, oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. Is that eggshell or regular white? That's nice. Oh, Shane, you're so tall. You're so handsome. You're so smart. You're doing a tremendous job. I want you to know that. Just I would only ever say that about you. But Cole, you're doing a tremendous job as well. And then he did his traditional salute everyone and everything, including Saudi military leaders. For some reason, I don't know if that's. I'm not gonna BS all of you. I don't know if that's normal, but maybe. He loves his saluting. He salutes planes. He salutes everything. And then more observational humor.
The job you've done is second to none. You look at this. It's
wow. Orange, too. Very orange. Yeah. But he had to put on his special paint for the leaders. You know? He gets to see his favorite tall, handsome. Did you even say tall? Maybe I'm inventing that. I thought I heard it. Handsome leaders. Intelligent. Tremendous jobs, leaders.
The job you've done is second to none. You look at this, it's so beautiful. As a construction person, I'm seeing perfect marble. This is what they call perfecto. And just a great job you've done, and what a beautiful place. And we appreciate those camels. I haven't seen camels like that in a long time. And that was some greeting. We appreciate it very much.
I know this isn't the important thing, but you come to me for the unimportant things too, I hope. Just look at my face compared to his face. We probably have a similar natural same complexion. Look at my face compared to his face right now. Okay? But again, he's there. He's very excited to meet them. very, very excited. And when he says that Mohammed bin Salman is a great guy, again, I get diplomacy, I get having relations even with a great guy who's overseen the abuses that he has. But that's one of Trump's little descriptors in his arsenal that he rolls out for every single one of the leaders, especially leaders who really don't align on principles that we stand for. And this moment went viral. Listen, I'm less interested in, did he fall asleep? But it did look like he took just a quick snooze, just ever so quick. At least his eyes shut for a moment. I'll play this. Oh, is that a different clip? Never mind. That's not the snooze clip. That was the him walking. That was the him walking in the wrong direction originally, and MBS saying, "Oh no, other way." But in a different clip, I guess I don't have it pulled up here. His eyes shut for a little bit of time, and in response to that, what are the MAGA accounts going to say? They're going to say, "Really, you're going to criticize him for snoozing?" Which I'm not. But what about whenever Biden was on foreign trips? What is this? Say what you will, but that's a crazy clip. That's so funny. 6 seconds of contemplation. This clip was also circulating as sort of a refutation of the criticism of Trump. I don't care if Trump snoozed. That's not my stake in this. Looks like Biden took a nice snooze there too. People snooze, okay? Sometimes people snooze, and both of them are a little bit on the older side, so that can happen even more. But here's what is more important. Anderson Cooper reporting on what is one of the most corrupt ventures a U.S. president has ever engaged in, ever.
According to a new report in the New York Times, there's a new connection to the president's cryptocurrency plans. Here's the headline: tiny company with China ties announces big purchase of Trump cryptocurrency. It's a fascinating story. The Times reports that, quote, the firm, which produces content for TikTok, recorded no revenue last year, but it announced this week that a mysterious stock sale would allow it to invest heavily in the Trump meme coin.
Just fill in Biden in all those words instead of Trump, and then imagine the reaction. It would be, I can't even imagine it, actually, because I think people would literally be so angry, just their own brain would melt out of their ears on Fox and elsewhere. So that's what's going on there. Quite the story. Tell me your thoughts in the comments.